All right, you guys ready?
I'm as ready as you are because you're the one running this thing.
All right.
Make it happen.
3, 2, 1. From Hibbert's Gore, Maine to Monowi, Nebraska. From Hillsview, South Dakota to Luckenbach, Texas. Let's ride. We want to ride shotgun with you for the next hour, talking trucking with Christian and Kumar. How's it going, everybody?
Hello.
Giddy up. How are you?
Yeah,
Pretty good. It was fun. It was a fun weekend.
How
Oh, yeah.
was it?
Would you watch that Rowdy?
Yeah, we watched Rough and Rowdy. You guys want to talk about that now? Zach, you want to?
From what I remember, the main event was.
That's a yes, I guess, huh?
Not
Yeah, we'll do
as
that. Then we'll
good
go
as it
straight into
was
sports
supposed to
from
be.
here. We'll give Joel the top of the hour.
Stole my thunder.
Yeah, didn't he?
The main event backed out halfway through the fight because his opponent was lunging at him or
He
something.
was doing the Goldberg spear.
Huh.
Did he get
I
arrested?
thot it was boxing.
No, that was Shizat Dorizat that
yeah.
got arrested.
So after the main event ended by what would you call that?
Submission
So,
or
not even-
DQ.
yeah, they for forfeit.
Forfeit. There's the word.
The main event was leaving the ring, walking next to it, and one of the other fighters from earlier got in his face, and another fight happened and got arrested. So it was an eventful night.
It
like
was
every
fun.
Rough and Rowdy.
It was fun.
Yeah. In case you ever attend one of those events, outside the ring, it's called assault. So, yeah.
We are trying to
Yeah.
go to the next one
Of course.
Yes.
whenever it gets announced because it's only an hour away in Wheeling, West Virginia.
That's it? An hour?
It's about an hour 20.
They have an attorney on
not
retainer.
We plan ahead, and I'll be there.
All right, we'll let you know.
I think
do
we're
a-
pretty sure it's BYOB as well.
Oh, wow.
Bring your own beatings.
Bring your own brass knuckles.
Oh, man.
Well, I guess I forgot to introduce everybody on the show today, didn't
Ooh,
I?
burn.
I was waiting for that.
Darn it. I wanted to get straight into it. Anyways, so today we got Joel on camera. We got me on camera. We got Christian. And we got Eminem. We couldn't get Mike
I
Tyson,
am-
but we got Eminem.
The real Slim Shady.
Yes. And guys on the phone, we got Jim. Where you at, Jim?
Sorry, I was muted there for a minute. I'm in Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
Nice.
Visiting mom.
Done for the holiday.
What about you, Kevin? We got Kevin out there.
I'm coming through San Antonio, Texas.
Awesome.
Jealous.
We got Ray.
Yeah, Ray, where you at?
Ray's jealous.
I'm jealous, and I'm at the 77, coming up to the 81, kind of close to Christian's neck of the woods.
Nice. And
Lunchbox.
Nate, you here?
Yes, sir.
Where are you at?
In Jackson, Mississippi.
Nice.
On a Saturday night. No.
Good deal, good deal. Well, today is going to be, I don't know what's going to go on today, but
It'll be a
we're gonna get some
fantastic
trouble.
show.
Rowdy.
talked about Rough and Rowdy. Yeah, so I think Christian, you got some guys you want to go over? Doty might be coming in soon, maybe.
Yeah, I do. We can wait for Mike. Hey, Joel, if you're ready with the wide world or worldwide of sports.
Or do you want to do news? I know we've
I
already
think
messed
we need,
this
I
up
think,
enough.
I think Slim Shady can hang out for just a little bit.
I can hang for a couple minutes. I haven't got any calls yet. So.
Yeah, you want to do that?
anymore?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, what's up, guys? I am Joel, and here we are, end of May, back on the sports show that talks about fuel prices, news, and Rough and Rowdy. This week, going around the league, over in the NBA, we have the Final Four. Last night, we had Dallas hanging on to a must-win, down 3-0 in a best-of-4 best of 7 series with Golden State. They won 119-107 to force a game 5. That game tomorrow night in Northern California. Tonight, we have Boston down in South Florida taking on the Heat. That series is tied at 2 games apiece as well. Over in the NHL playoffs in the East, Carolina at New York Rangers. That series is tied 2 games apiece. The winner of that series taking on Tampa Bay Lightning. Out west, we have St. Louis Blues down 3-1 at Colorado. Must win for the Blues to keep the season alive. And the same for the Calgary Flames. Edmonton at Calgary tonight. Edmonton leads the series 3-1. Over in baseball, Major League Baseball, American League East, New York Yankees lead at 30-13, best in the majors currently. In the Central, Minnesota Twins 27-16, and out west, Houston Astros lead the Angels by a game. They're 28-16. In the National League, the other New York team leading the East 29-16. Over in the Central, Brewers, the Brew Crew holding strong. Milwaukee at 27-16. And out west, the Dodgers hold a 1.5 game lead over the Padres at 29-13. Some USFL news. Standings, 8 teams, USFL North. New Jersey at 5-1. Philadelphia Stars 3-3. Michigan Panthers at 1-5. Pittsburgh 1-5. Down south, Birmingham holds a perfect record, 6-0. New Orleans Breakers at 4-2. Tampa Bay 3-3, and the Houston Gamblers in the cellar at 1-5. Over in golf this weekend, tomorrow starting the Charles Schwab Challenge at the Colonial Country Club in Fort Worth, Texas. It's a par 70, 7,209 yards. It's an $8.4 million purse. Top 3 leaders right now over in golf. Number 3, Cameron Smith. Number 2, John Rahm. And number 1, still holding, Scotty Scheffler. Over in NASCAR this Sunday, the 29th, we have a racing action over at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. That's 6 p.m. Sunday. Top 3 in the standings. Number 3, Chase Elliott. Number 4, Ross Chastain. And at number 1 is William Byron.
There's Leonard Skinner playing at that Charlotte.
Sir?
They got Leonard Skinner playing in Charlotte down there. It's one of their concerts. Apparently, I haven't been to a NASCAR race in a couple of years, but going to Charlotte, and there's like a list of all sorts of. I think it's like medieval fighting and BMX space, bike riding and everything else.
Really?
So, yeah, it's more of an event. I know. Last one I went to was Bristol, like 4 or 5 years ago, pre-COVID, which was like 10 years ago, and they had UFC fighters outside. It's like 100 degrees. It was pretty sweet.
Were they fighting everybody trying to get in?
No, that was not the case. There was plenty of There were plenty of seats to be had.
Alrighty, cool. Yeah, I got to see Leonard Skinner, and Ronnie's brother was Johnny Van Zant here a few years ago.
Nice. Do you remember it?
Barely. No, that was people, Marshall Tucker and Leonard Skinner. On a side note, this week in history, I went ahead and did this. It's sports related. Back on May 25th in 1922, Babe Ruth was suspended 1 game and fined $200 for throwing dirt on an umpire.
Oh man.
And we were gonna expand on the Rough and Rowdy, but
Yeah, we kind of did. I got nervous. I jumped ahead.
the host of the show got nervous.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
great. That's a really good sign, guys. Hey,
Don't let him do a reference for you.
Speaking of Rough and Rowdy, in my Instagram feed, there seems to be a lot of NBA like pushing and shoving. Are they just making it more dramatic, or has there been like the Golden State? Was it a heated contest? Does anybody know?
I have no idea. Joel?
The Rough and Rowdy?
No, like Golden State Warriors and all. Were there some heated moments between teams that kind of remind you of like almost like the Pistons and stuff like that, like the older days of pushing guys around?
Not lately, not this year. Maybe in hockey, but nothing in the NBA or.
Okay, so it's just my Facebook feed.
No Bad Boys of Detroit, nothing like that this year.
Okay.
Dubs might repeat.
So just drama. Got it.
Yeah.
All right. What was that? That's all, Joel?
That's it.
All right. Ian, you want to do the news?
Sure. I completely forgot about this week in history thing, so I just grabbed one that I saw real quick. In 1953, today's the 25th, by the way, that we're recording this. 1953, nuclear weapons testing in Nevada. They conducted the first and only test of a nuclear artillery gun. So, yeah. You don't want to be close to that, and artillery kind of lands, not far enough for nuclear blast. So, they only tried that once. So.
Yeah, and then we got The Hills Have Eyes. You guys see that movie?
No, I haven't
That
seen it. Is it worth
documentary,
seeing?
I mean.
Is it worth seeing?
If you like scary movies, it's terrifying.
Is it nonfiction?
A
Definitely
documentary.
nonfiction. No. Definitely fiction.
All right. And this week's bridge strike of the week, Kansas City. We got this bad boy here that a garbage truck hit. This bridge is owned by the railroad, and it's over 100 years old.
Oh,
and
my
they
goodness.
said it gets hit about twice. I think it was twice a
Was that
month.
the driver going out? Was that the driver on the left-hand side?
Let's take a look at that.
When he
again.
hits it, something shoots in front of that white car, and they all come in traffic.
Oh, because they're on the right side over there.
Is that?
Oh,
no, it's something on
that
the
came
top.
out of the top.
Yeah, it might have just been garbage up top.
Yeah.
So,
That bridge gets hit twice a day.
twice a month. twice.
Twice a day.
It looks like the bridge that was there from the other week. We should get the other. Yeah.
It really does.
It's not.
No,
It does not lose.
Oh.
This is a different one. So
Little note: if you're a driver, definitely don't go under those bridges that look like that.
13.6.
All right, so this was something that happened a couple weeks ago that didn't make the cut last week because we were busy.
let's hear.
ODOT vehicle carrying fuel got hit by a dump truck. This happened right on 77.
3 miles from here.
Yeah, not super far from here. I actually had one of my drivers get stuck in the traffic behind this, and I think Zach did as well. A few people did, but not really much is known. As far as I know, both of them survived. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
And one of them is very, very rich right now.
Yeah.
Will be. Yes.
Restitution
soon.
on that.
I mean, yeah. Just look at that. I don't know exactly what happened. Could have had a medical emergency, but glad everybody survived.
Yeah, that's crazy. What a way to
That's a
start
lot
your
of
day.
One-way truck round.
It's a lot of fire. All right. Got an article here about the chip production, and it's not potato chips, unfortunately.
I literally thought we were talking about potato chips this whole
Yeah.
time. I was like, why is this news?
Chips
No,
ahoy.
this is chips for trucks. The biggest takeaway I took from this article is that may not fully meet customer demand this or even next year. So I don't know if you guys have heard about people waiting on new trucks. The time just keeps getting pushed out further and further and further.
Didn't we touch on this at some
Yeah,
point?
we did a
Yeah,
little
we
bit
have.
where they
It's-
said even manufacturers were not pushing their numbers because they didn't think
Yeah.
they'd be able to have the chips to get them to move. So why produce them?
And one more other thing in this article that was interesting is the production in Ukraine has been totally stalled, and I guess that was a large chunk of the world. So more and more, we're not seeing the chips. So could be longer that we see new trucks really rolling out. All right, some citizens of Cuba were charged with basically just giving out CDLs to whoever could fog a mirror. Last time I saw something that was this bad was Trailer Park Boys when this guy got his rig license in Canada.
Still umpire.
That was thicker.
That is Bubbles. Yeah, he somehow got his rig license and got in some big trouble in Canada. Oh, this was another real interesting situation here. I'm guessing it's not as big of a trucking company. This Texas Chrome Transport, one of their payroll people was paying drivers extra and then taking a kickback from them. Quite a few people. It says 6 people or 6-person pled guilty. I'm sure there's quite a few people involved, but I never thought about that. But that's something that could totally happen, and yeah, kind of surprising.
Yeah, it's not good.
No. Oh, okay. So we've all heard about the big deal with drivers being held up for too long, and shippers and receivers. A bill is possibly making its way to our government to really get after these huge amount of times that drivers are sitting. And there are some people who are very not happy about this. One of the biggest takeaways I had from this article, and there's a quote here from VP of Trucking for Transportation Consultancy, and she said, in theory, drivers would have to be paid for a lot more time that they're currently not paid for, which would not be sustainable. So they're saying that you guys should probably deal with it because they're not going to make as much money. So what do you guys think about that?
I think if the rule applies to us, it applies to everybody. So have dock workers and everybody else not get paid too, and see how long they stick around.
Mm-hmm. I feel like all of these issues fall right onto the driver. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that might be a stupid statement, but
no. It's
like
usually
runs
obviousness.
downstream. Yeah, it usually runs downstream. I think the heading said that the shippers are fighting it. You just wish the shippers and receivers would fight just as hard to get you unloaded as they are to stop legislation.
Yeah, it says legislation aimed at ensuring overtime pay for truckers is getting close scrutiny from major shipper group that plans to fight hard against it if the bill starts to gain.
If you want to talk about feeling valued, read that second line. The Guaranteed Overtime for Truckers Act, introduced in April by Andy Levin of Michigan, would repeal the motor carrier exemption in the Fair Labor Standards Act. When you're not a part of a Fair Labor Standards Act, when you have an exemption into it, there's an issue there, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I understand why. There's a lot of things and variables in transportation you can't control. But when you are sitting on someone's property who is gaining profit from what you are bringing into their facility, that doesn't always have to fall on the owner of the truck, and it generally does, to make sure that everyone's fairly compensated. But when you're held up for 10 or 12 hours and you meet your appointment time or you're in that window, I'm all about it. I don't like regulation, but I'd support this 1,000%.
Absolutely. I mean,
I agree with you, but the question I really have is who's gonna police this and who's gonna enforce this?
Ray, I gotta agree. It'd be extremely difficult. I mean, am I gonna have to call the police when I have to email an unnamed broker, 50 times to get layover? How is that gonna work?
I don't disagree with it at all. We need that compensation, but that's the reason why I keep saying that. Unfortunately, at the end, it's all going to go down to, hey, if these shippers and receivers are taking this much time out of the truckers' stock, we need to really stop delivering to these places.
Well, I agree with you, Ray. And I think one thing that we look at is if shippers and receivers are fighting this, the one thing they're going to do is they're just going to reject your load if they have a heavy day. If they know they're going to have to pay for you to sit there, they're going to say, oh, sorry, we're going to have to reschedule it for tomorrow. And no, we're not going to pay you because you're technically not on our property and on our watch.
Yeah.
I mean, long story short, they overbook things so that they can have as little people at their facilities as possible. They want the bare minimum people they have to pay, and if it takes forever for it to get done, they're pushing it onto you guys.
But real capitalism, we're for-profit business venture. So if they're paying more out, they're going to charge more in their product. It's all. I mean, I hate to bring the word inflation up here, but everything will inflate. Right, because when the cost of things go up, the profit margins don't change; just the cost of their goods do. So your COGS change because their net margin's going to go up. So while I don't agree with the fact that we need to continue to raise costs in this country, at least someone's being compensated for it. Because right now there's a lot of other costs that are increased due to poor policy. Won't get into that, and the cost of materials. But at least this is going in someone's pocket. It's not going to a company; it's going to an individual that's sitting there, or a company that is paying for that individual to sit there. And I think can you look at what hiring would look like on 10th Street 10 years from now or 5 years from now if this passed? So you have guaranteed pay. Mm-hmm. So guys know that they're not going to sit there. It may end up turning trucking into an hourly position as opposed to a percentage of gross or a percentage of income or mileage, because now you're getting paid for the time that you typically wouldn't.
The other issue that we have too is the contracts too. Every time you get a rate con, the broker's allowed to write their own contract. And usually they're going to write the contract in favor of what they know that they can get from the shipper.
Yeah. Are you talking about the contract to us or the contract to the customer, Ray?
The contract to us.
Yeah, contract to us, yes.
And detention and layover, all that good stuff.
So one thing you can do is you can send amended. I'm sorry, Ian, were you talking? I'm sorry.
Oh, no. Go ahead.
Okay. One thing you can do is send over amended accessorial fees And if that's not something you have, maybe I'll see if I can post it up here next week or offer to those that might want it. But it really covers every accessorial. And you can send it to TQL and they put it inside their system. They understand that I'm not going to agree to your $25 an hour. My rate's going to be $55. Now, when they book this freight, they may say, hey, will you give us, the shipper's 5 hours. We'll pay you $40 an hour instead of $55, but, understand that it's coming. So they're a lot more transparent when they know that, you've got them in a vice. And that's one thing we used to do all the time. I'm dating back to like 07, 09, 10, somewhere in there. On every rate confirmation we sent back, we would sign the rate confirmation, but we'd have a slip of paper either in between the two, but it would be signed and sent back in their fax as received of what our accessorial policy was. So every time we signed, fax, or emailed, we'd have that in there. It doesn't work every time, but if you set it up in your company profile, when they're dispatching you, they do call and say, hey, this customer's been known to lay over. You put $1,000 layover charge in there. We're okay paying $500 instead of $250. Is that something you can agree to if it happens? 9 times out of 10, you can say no because you know what's going to happen. Yeah. You're going to get paid $500 for 24 hours worth of time.
Yeah, I would love a copy of that if you can send it over. Yeah.
I will make a note.
All right, and the last thing I have real quick for the news. Driver was charged with stealing a couple shipments of Red Bull. So long story short, he picked up and never delivered and returned signed BOL to Red Bull. So they don't know what happened to all this Red Bull, where it went, but he got caught. You can't get away with it. So Red Bull will come after you.
That was
New Jersey. It'll also give you wings. You know that.
Yeah. So he could have got away if he just had some Red Bull.
Yeah, obviously he didn't touch it.
Yeah. He didn't get wings. He got bars.
Mm-hmm. So are they saying that the Red Bull was valued at $27,000?
Yeah, I thought that was a little low. I thought it would have been more than that. But,
for $45 a can, you figure it'd be a little higher than that.
Yeah. maybe they weren't full truckloads. Maybe they were box trucks.
Yeah, by the way, he's innocent until proven guilty, by the way. So this is allegedly.
Allegedly. I apologize.
So was OJ.
Yeah.
Funny story about Red Bull. I went to OU 2012 to 13, Ohio University. And there was one morning I was walking to class. I had like a really early class. So like nobody was out. Everybody had late classes. And I go to like the college green, and in the middle of it is this giant crate, like a drop from a plane or whatever it looked like, filled with like the brand new flavors of Red Bull that had just come out, like the blueberry and all that, the red one. And so I was like, okay, I'll grab 2. And then I get out of class, and it's like a mad dash. Like it's basically like a riot on the college green because everybody's trying to get some Red Bull. And yeah, it was free. So
that happened when I was at Akron U too. The little Red Bull Mini Cooper came and dropped off a bunch.
Really?
Yeah, and they had one of those crates too.
It was so cool. I felt like I was like in some kind of video game. I was like, oh, this is a random event right here. This is crazy.
Yeah. Look at my loadout.
I am upset I didn't get more because I had the whole box to myself, and I only took like 2 of them. But everybody else had book bags full. Like they were bringing extra book bags just to fill them with all this Red Bull. But yeah, that was funny.
Still keep your freedom.
Rookie move, kid. Got to be prepared.
I know. I didn't think they were gonna riot about it. But
all right, guys, I got to sign off. I'm on duty tonight. Y'all have a wonderful show.
Yeah, enjoy your 24-hour shift. Are you getting compensated? I'm just kidding.
Compensated?
No.
What?
No. But hey, good job on the news. Appreciate you sticking around.
Y'all have a wonderful night.
Thanks, Marshall.
Yep.
Everybody call Ian at midnight tonight.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm going to put it on auto dial and just hang up the phone.
All right, Christian, you got some stuff you want to go
over?
I
do. Yeah, I do. We got it here. You guys can see everything popping up, right?
Yeah.
Cool beans. Yep. So a couple things. So a little bit of a market update first, and then we'll move into a situation that happened this week. I'll also talk about what happened to capacity and why it changed so great. And we know a lot of it happens to do with the spot load post increasing, but the truck post is down 16%. Basically the 16th to the 22nd versus the previous week, the 9th to the 15th. And we know why that was, because the 17th to the 19th on the DOT blitz was right here. And voila, like magic, all of a sudden rates start to go up, right? And posts start to go up. Now, it might have only have an average of a 3% rate increase. But that's not bad for having 60,000 trucks pulled over on the side of the road in 72 hours. If you look at this too, that the van load to truck ratio is up 64%, 2.5%, give or take 2.7% in van spot rate increase. Flatbed also up significantly for probably similar reasons, 23%. Reefer load to truck ratio up 114%. Our customers just shelling out reefer freight right now. So a lot of it's to places guys don't want to go, so we don't put a lot of it on our truck because it's the words like the Bronx and everywhere up in New York. But that's also up almost 5% on the rates for 114% increase in the ratio. Fuel down just slightly, but obviously it's up 65% from last year. A quick look at what the DAT market looks like on their trends, and this is from the previous business day. Everything is red is the place to be. Blue is not so much, and the colors in between, as you can see the graph up top on their MCI chart. The southern Florida started to cool off. Things started to move up towards Georgia and the Carolinas. Texas still warm, a lot of interstate, Texas intrastate as well, back through that southern corridor. Other areas that are not really lit up on the map but are still doing well. Ohio and those areas are starting to warm up, as well as the Wisconsin, Illinois, right up here in this line. So I know I had a couple drivers out to California saying it was a name your rate game. I think they were just there on the right day. When I looked at the total tonnage that they had there, the ratios were good, but there wasn't a ton of freight, so they might have just found a guy or two that really needed some help.
Yeah, I noticed, I was thinking about sending somebody to Wyoming just because he was already in a tough spot. Yeah. And so I was, just looking for anything I could find that was in a decent market. Yeah. And I was looking at Wyoming, and the area, it said load to truck ratio, it was good, but then I looked and there was absolutely no freight.
Right. That bottom indicator, on the rate view that show what the volume of freight is it's not always the ratio, right? It's how much is there.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, you're right. Yep. So if there's not the volume there, then you don't want to go there, because otherwise you might have 5 loads to choose from. They might be paying great rates, or they might not, because there's not much freight there to leave out. So I wanted to cover a couple guys in the occupancy tracker. So up along the top, for those that have not seen this before, that we have the driver. We have their occupancy-based revenue, their occupancy, and revenue. So these are the 3 things we're going to measure. We're going to measure how much revenue they made in one period of time. We measure this from Wednesday to Tuesday by delivery. They have their occupancies, which is how much time they spent per week in the truck. If it's 100%, obviously it means stayed there in the whole week. Each day roughly counts for about 14% of their entire week. So 7 times 14 is roughly 100. And then occupancy-based revenue is if they were above or below their goal. So then we look at this first one, driver A. He's from North Carolina, home every other week, give or take. Mileage 2,800 miles, $3.28, which is a good rate per mile right now, even with the fuel increases going on. And this is for weekend of the 24th. He was in Martinsburg, West Virginia, delivering on Wednesday. Went up to Middlefield, Ohio to deliver. Reloaded at one of our customers, made a delivery, and then ended up in Worcester, Mass., which I always butcher that name the same way that Russ butchers Massachusetts. He's $1,450 above his target, with a target of $8,000, 100% occupancy, 116% a goal. So he did occupy each day as this shows. And here's the map of where he went to. This is really his routes, right? And he went from West Virginia, Ohio, and then over to Massachusetts. Driver number 2, his home is in Virginia. He was off 2 days, which was Thursday and Friday. This is not counted in the calculations. Excuse me, I clicked too many buttons here. But if you look at his schedule, it's a little bit different. So he did deliver in Dunn, North Carolina. End up time off at the house was in Virginia and Richmond, delivered in Mansfield, Texas. Took a while to get there. Chose not to leave out the house at a great time. If you just imagine if he put those 1,400 miles and did not take the time off when he picked the load up Wednesday, either to deliver on Saturday or Monday, he would have gained another day and likely been at $10,000. $8,500. What's that?
It sounds like what I do every time I leave Texas.
Well,
I go to Laredo,
you live
load
there.
up, then I come spend the night, then I take off.
Yeah, well, he did it the opposite way. He was in Virginia and took an extra day, but
okay.
Yeah, but he did meet his goal of $8,500. He did 71% because he did take the 2 days off on Thursday and Friday. So he did work 5 of the 7 days, which is 71% occupancy, and still did 130% of his goal, because he did his goal in less time than he would than 100% of the occupancy. And this was his route, which is a pretty good route. And if you look at the amount of money and the time that he spent on the road, it also matches up with DAT. This was the lanes that we were wanting to carry. Next driver home is also Virginia. Started in Rocky Mount, Virginia, ended up going up to Manassas, Virginia, back down to Georgia, and then he was headed out west from Georgia, which did not fall on this week. He also had an occupancy of 100%. He had $8,500 was his goal. He met an $8,500 goal right at $8,500. It's funny how the math works that way sometimes. And then so he had 100% of his occupied goal. And so he was out there during the week and he got rewarded for it. And these are the states that he ran, right? Oklahoma, all the way out through the East Coast and up through Virginia. And finally, our last driver was 71%. So we had 2 guys at 100% occupancy and 2 gentlemen that ended up taking 2 days off. Also, we had 2 gentlemen that were out of Virginia and 2 that were out of North Carolina. This gentleman is out of North Carolina. He did 2,562 miles at $3.04 a mile. He achieved 130% of his occupancy-based revenue and did $7,800. So he had a $7,000 target based on where he runs. More so with the restrictions and everything else that he might have. Let me move this marker. He was in Durham, North Carolina. Then he went to Groveport, Ohio, reloaded out of our customer, came on back down, loaded back to Russellville, Kentucky, and then Pulaski, Virginia. Occupied the truck again, 71% of the time. He had some time off down there, which is excusable, especially because it's the weekend. So if you can make money and go home, why not do it? And these are the areas you stayed in. One of the things that the DAT pushed out here, and I'm not sure if you guys saw it out there in dispatching trucks, but the DAT post load board dropped 16%, which is more than double the average of the past 5 road checks. So I'm not sure what's driving this. I think that the guys in the last several years since CVSA has come back out post-COVID, but I believe that a lot of it's because if they weren't making significant money, they didn't want to spend significant money, or they were taking time to get down since they've been working so hard through a harder market. So I think that while they may dub it as a vacation week by carriers, you guys still hear me? It just told me my internet's not stable.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You're still here.
Okay. But it's 72-hour road check. So we saw the capacity tighten up, and hopefully that carries this capacity as reefer freight and everything else picks up. I do want to rewind here real quick while we're talking about the blitz. We've done a lot of things in our fleet as far as sending messages out, having individual conversations with drivers, and trying to let them know why we want to be prepared for the blitz. And there's a number of them. But it was on episode 55, 2.5 weeks ago, that we had the coined conversation between Russ and I that said, be concerned with the things that you can control. And if we rewind that back, there are 2 sayings that we had, which one is don't worry about the things in life that you have no control over. Focus your energy on the things you can change, be positive, and keep looking forward instead of looking backwards, unless there's flashing lights, by the way. The second was, when you stop worrying about what you can't control, you have time to change the things you can. There was a 72-hour blitz by the Commercial Vehicle Safety Alliance, and during that, this just talks about why they're doing the road inspections and what they're looking at. Kumar was kind enough to pull it up on episode 52 of all the check for, or maybe it was 54, cracked and unseated locking rings, studs, or clamps. And you went down and you listed and read every single thing that they were looking for.
Yep.
And this is where I'm going to go a little bent here. And I don't mean to get frustrated, but you're going to train horn me. I'm pretty pissed here. I got a guy that has worked for years. And we're just going to have to train horn that because he's worked here for years. He does a fantastic job. But he let one go past the goalie, and he let the low-hanging fruit affect our safer scores and everybody else in this fleet. And I'm not sure if everyone that listens understands what happens when you have these large violations. It's not like, oh, it's a warning, he didn't write me a ticket. It's that we have a 60 or 90-point violation that stays on there for several years. And that is what one of the large indicators of the DOT when they walk into your office. And if you have these, it means they're also going to scrutinize other things. They're supposed to pick you at random. But I will tell you that, or a certain percentage of the people that they pick out of your fleet at random during audit. But if you start having something like this where you have a discolored windshield and he said he got a chip and it just grew. Well, we got to take care of that. As owner operators, we're a Class A professional driver, which means we have to handle the small stuff. If the DOT works on your truck and they find something that you missed, chafing air hoses, a lot of this little chicken crap things, I'm all right with that. But when we have brakes that are just inoperable on a trailer,
That's
right,
bad.
or we have leaks from air chambers and blown diaphragms, this is nothing but neglect. And so I'm not trying to get irritated, and this gentleman knows, he watches the show, and I hope you're watching, because I believe we need to speak the truth around here. And that's the one thing Russ says, is we don't need to change who we are. Our rules didn't change. Our understanding of what the jobs didn't change. But there's a reason why this matters. We can talk about why does the government want to put limiters on the trucks? But I think it's because when we can't do the simple things, they're going to find a way to make sure that they curb the behaviors for us. So not only did this driver get, basically it was almost a $900 bill to get it fixed on the side of the road, but you're gambling. When you're not taking care of those things on the side of the road, you're gambling. You're gambling with your finances, as you just saw that was his bill, and he's paying for a guy to come out and fix it. It's our equipment. I would have gladly, if it was in a shop and we had already offered to pay for DOT inspections 2 and 3 weeks before this blitz, we would have taken care of it. It's going to affect his driving record for the next several years. It's going to affect his life if he's not careful, and the public safety. There's a reason that they have so many brakes on these things. You're an 80,000-pound missile going down the road. I know we were joking about pre and post trips prior to the show, but it's very important that you understand that you're just not taking a hammer and hitting your tires and hopping in saying, well, she's good yesterday, she'll be good today, because automatic slack adjusters are not automatic. And when you hit the brakes, you need to make sure that vehicle stops in the shortest distance possible. And then last and least important on most people's radar is the company safety record. And I know Metalark as well works really hard. They have a great ISS score now. They fixed a lot of the safety concerns, and they have a great safety team over there taking care of things. But it sticks with you. So if you have a violation today, it stays on there for years. And, a lot of times people say, I'm not sure why they're putting on so hard because it was just 2 tires and a brake chamber. Okay, well, those are 20 points. And if we have a majority of the fleet doing it, it's based on inspection ratio. So there's another blitz coming up. I know I've kind of harvested on the one violation. That's the only violation we got, and I found out about it today after the fact, which that also pissed me off. But I think it's important that we understand what the implications are, and it's more than just your CDL and your truck. But July 10th, write this down. There's also going to be Operation Safe Driver Week, July 10th through the 16th for speeding. There's something I was going to report on here. They're talking about 2020 having the highest number of fatalities since 2007. This is one of the reasons that they want to put limiters in our trucks, because they're seeing that there's a larger fatality rate and higher speeds now that there ever have been. Does anybody know how many vehicles were inspected during the DOT blitz? On average?
I read it. I can't remember, though.
You can't remember? Well, since 1988, they've inspected 1.4 million vehicles, if that tells you what their blitz have done. And if you do the math, they're starting to inspect more vehicles now than they ever have before. But their goal or their average has been roughly 15 trucks or bus inspections per minute. So doing the math, it's 15 inspections, right, for 60 minutes, which is 900 inspections per hour during their 72-hour blitz. So 900 inspections per hour times 24 hours is 21,600 inspections per day, which would lead to 3 days worth of inspections with a total of 64,800 inspections. So there's 64,000 vehicles that were pulled over on the side of the road. So, if you think it's not going to be you, or, hey, I know it's DOT Blitz week, I got this light that's out, I can't find the light, whatever it is, pull over and get it inspected. Your pre-employment, your PSP, your DOT record that follows you wherever you go is important. That is your resume. So, yes, and here's the blitz again, just in case somebody didn't see it before. But it is July 10th. That is the week, and it's a speed week, so understand that they will be having radars and speed traps. If you know a place that changes, going from 65 to 55 to 45, that's where they're going to hang out. If you're on the interstate and there's a guy in the hammer down lane and you feel like you want to make up time, understand what, your tires are speed rated for a reason, and keep it underneath the dial so this way you don't get yourself in trouble.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good deal.
A little emotional on the inspection piece there, but man, that's.
I thought you were gonna flip your computer.
I mean, I was turning green or red or something, but yeah, it's frustrating. I just
like that.
What's that? Yeah. So that was Ray. I blanked out the name, but that was Ray. Yeah.
He's all
he
mad
was
at me, man. He's all about hurt at me.
Yeah. Well, you said you were coming my neck of the woods, so I'm hoping you're dropping off some of that cactus, whether it's in season or not.
Cactus, huh? Oh my goodness.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right, you guys want to do questions with me?
Yeah. So this week, I know Russ is gone, so we are changing back over to St. Jude's this week. Is that correct?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. And so I will take the drivers, and you're going to Pete Rose yourself. You're going to gamble on yourself, right?
Yep, gambling on myself.
All right. And Joel, are you all ready with the questions?
All right.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Joel, but it's not fishing questions. It's a hybrid question, right?
It's three trucking questions, 2 fishing questions.
Okay. Can someone turn up his mic a little bit?
I was gonna say, yeah, we can't hear. Well, I
All right.
can't.
Yeah, you can just speak loud in there. Go ahead, have at it worldwide.
There we
Question
go.
1. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, Kumar. What is the standard width of a dry van trailer? A, 8 feet. B, 8.5 feet. C, 7 feet 3 inches. D, 9 foot 6 inches.
8.5.
Kumar says 8.5. What do y'all say?
Drivers.
Ray. Let's go with Ray.
Oh, he's picking one now
He's
that
like,
it's
"Are
his
you
money on the line.
serious?"
Yeah. My opponent.
Yeah.
All right, so you want to read the question again to make sure he's sticking to the details?
All right, yep. Going back to basics. What is the standard width of a dry van trailer? A, 8 feet. B, 8.5 feet. C, 7 foot 3 inches. D, 9 feet 6 inches.
If you need any inch to foot calculations, I can help you out there, Ray.
Yeah, 102 divided by 12.
That's 8.5.
Okay, I'll go with 8.5.
And anybody else? Pretty basic.
No, that's it.
All right, Kumar gets question 1.
Yeah.
8.5 feet.
That's a plated trailer, Ray. That's a trick question.
Inches.
He's
Yeah.
it's like 101, 101.5 inches. But yeah, go ahead. Good job,
That's why I
Kumar.
didn't say nothing. I was actually doing math in my head.
And Kumar, did you know that once I got a job as a garbage truck driver? There was no training. I just picked it up along the way.
That was good.
Question 2.
Oh, man.
Kumar, what is the largest fish in the world? Is it A, an orca? Is it B, a blue whale? Is it C, a whale shark? Or is it D, a pilot whale? What is the largest fish in the world? Ray, ¿cómo se dice fish en español? Pesca?
Pescado.
Largest
Pesca.
fish.
Pescado.
Those are whales or fish?
El Grande.
You can't ask questions. You've been asked a
Pescado.
question.
You've been
Your
asked
job
the
is to
questions,
answer it.
Kumar.
Are we talking like
We're talking A, B, C, or D. Orca, blue whale, whale shark, or pilot whale. What's the largest fish in the world?
Well, I get it would probably be a blue whale, right?
Kumar
Well,
says blue whale. Drivers, do you know? Dodie, do you know?
Yeah. I'm going to go with that shark.
He's going with shark week.
We went the whale shark.
You want the
Is that what it is,
great
a whale
white?
shark?
Yeah.
That was
Orca,
C
blue
was
whale,
shark.
whale shark, or
I can-
pilot whale?
I can barely hear you, man. I'm like pushing my ear.
Orca,
There
blue
you
whale,
go.
whale shark, or pilot whale. Most grande fish in the world.
It's so loud for us. I'm surprised. That's crazy.
Bull shark.
He says,
He
says
I'll
bull
just
I'm
shark.
gonna go whale shark too. Whale
All
shark,
right.
whale shark.
Whale shark, whale shark. Coom says blue whale.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, it's a whale shark. Anyways, go ahead. It's-
Well, what
Are
is
you
it?
wanting to change your answer?
No, the whale kind of confused me because, I mean, they're not exactly like whales are mammals, right?
You know, I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
that
it's
you
a species
cannot
of
ask
goldfish.
questions to game show.
Yeah,
We're looking
it's
for
a species of
large
goldfish.
fish.
What's that?
Large
Ray?
fish.
Hold
I
on,
think-
Ray.
Yep.
No, I was going to say that I think whale's actually a species of goldfish, I believe.
Goldfish. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. A
Oh.
really big one. Big goldfish.
Well, there's the answer to that. All right, so
You've never seen a whale on land before?
All right, did you change your mind? Anyways,
No, I'm gonna go blue whale.
blue whale. Even though Christian just pulled up the answer. All right, we have one
Oh,
and
I didn't even see it.
1-1. A whale shark. I would have thought blue whale too, but apparently it's a
Whale shark. Huh.
Yeah.
It is a whale shark.
Yeah.
They
Don't
didn't
act
have that in
surprised.
Red
You knew
Dead
that,
Redemption.
man. You aced that one.
Man.
Well, I just figured because it has the word shark in it last, not first. So
Yeah.
ultimately, it's a shark that looks like a whale, I guess.
So a whale shark is the answer.
Looks like a giant catfish from what I pulled up, but
Yeah, I've never caught one of those before, so I wouldn't know.
It's a large
Kumar.
goldfish with teeth.
I've got two friends, an astronaut and a truck driver. I like the truck driver more because he's more down to earth.
You got
Question
me
3.
again. Are you gonna be at Crackpots tonight?
All right, question 3. About how much does a dry van weigh empty? A, 28,000 pounds. B, 34,000 pounds. C, 39,000. D, 42,000 pounds. About how much does a dry van weigh, Kumar? Empty.
Oh, do the answers one more time.
All right. About how much does a dry van weigh empty? 28,000, 34,000, 39,000, or 42,000 pounds?
28.
Kumar says 28 drivers.
I
When's
agree.
the last time you scaled empty?
Yeah, I agree.
You say 28,000?
Yeah.
Are you talking about just the trailer? Or are you
I'm talking about just the
truck and
trailer empty. Empty trailer.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go 28,000.
Driver said 28,000. Wow, the answer I got was 34. It's between 33 and 36,000 empty.
Really?
Yeah. Y'all
That's
know
got to
that?
be with the tractor too.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
gotta be
that's
with the
gotta be
tractor.
with-
That's
yeah,
why
because
I
you're gonna
asked.
run 12
Okay.
to 14 on the truck.
No.
Did Joel blow that
So
one again?
so do
Dry
this
van
math.
trailer is usually about
Yeah.
10,000.
Do this math. My tractor and trailer fully fueled and empty is 34,600.
See,
Right?
right at it.
Subtract-
Yep, 34. All right,
Yeah, so-
one and two is Kumar's record.
Hey,
right?
Kumar, if you want to have people insult us on the podcast, definitely post that question up.
Yeah, I
don't know
will.
How much a dry van weighs?
You know what's funny? Actually, what was it? Did I might have already talked about this, but I posted the clip of us, the team shower one. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And people were really upset because they're like, these idiots don't even know what a team shower is.
They'll get over it. Hey, Kumar,
But
speaking
if you
of
watch
which,
it in its entirety, you do understand what we're saying.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I don't know where I didn't know where they got that from. Like, okay.
Well, I guess I didn't put it in the clip that people do actually know what a team shower is in here, but
in a half shower.
It was
I
a
figured
question for
they, being a trucking podcast, it wouldn't think that we didn't know that, but
Yeah,
that's all right.
Yeah.
Kumar, speaking of trailers, I went to the movies to see a film about trucking, but it wasn't for me. There were too many trailers. All right. Question
man.
4.
You're killing me. I'm
not gonna be Kumar. able
to finish this.
What is the fastest fish in the world? Is it A, a mako shark? Is it B, a sailfish? Is it C, a bottlenose porpoise? Or is it D, an amberjack? Fastest fish in the world. Dodie, where you at?
What was that first one?
Mako shark, the sailfish, the bottlenose porpoise, or the amberjack?
Selfish?
No
Did
way.
you say so?
Is it a selfish?
Did you say selfish or shellfish?
Not selfish.
It's a really, really, really selfish
like a
fish.
marlin, sailfish.
Sail, guys,
The
like
big
the
sails
boat.
on it.
Oh, okay.
A
Wow.
sailfish. Huh.
Dude, I gotta get the wax out of my
All
head.
right, so
Sailfish. Sailfish.
All right, so 1 and 2. Kumar says sailfish.
Is that your final
What,
answer, Kumar?
what do you say,
My
guys?
final answer.
Mako shark, sailfish, a porpoise, or an amberjack? What's the fastest fish in the world?
Starfish.
A starfish. All right, Kumar, you got it right. The answer is
Bottlenose
B.
porpoise.
It's sailfish. Bottlenose came in third. I think Mako was number 2. But all right, so we have the deciding question here for Kumar at the end of our show today. But Kumar, quick, I just got one more question. What do truck drivers do when they get too old to have an
Oh my goodness.
they get a Peterbilt. Okay, question 5.
That's
Oh my
getting
God.
bleeped out.
That's getting cut.
The fifth wheel got its name from its original design around when? A, 1850s. B, 1890s. C, 1920s. D, 1950s. When did the fifth wheel get its name from its original design?
1950s.
Kumar says the 1950s, the fifth wheel got its name from its original design. Do you agree, drivers?
No, 1920.
Jim
I'm gonna have to go-
was breaking into trucking. He says 1920s. Ray, any thoughts?
I'm gonna have to go with Jim on this.
1920s. Okay. Are we done here? The answer to this here question is it's the 1850s. The horse-drawn carriages in the 1850s put a horizontal wheel on the frame to allow the front axle to pivot on its own.
Really?
Way back when they still were doing horses. 1850. So 2-3. Kumar, you lose. That's the show. Thanks for coming. Guys, we'll see you next week.
Wait, did I lose? I lost? That was it? I lost?
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah. It's a
I think
2-3.
None of you
Yep.
got the correct answer. Good job.
All right, so
Joe.
hey, the good news,
Questions?
Kumar, is you get to donate to St. Jude's. So
Okay.
just mark that down.
Great.
Are you really
it was
writing that down?
invented by
Bro,
Joseph
you
Smith.
won. What are you doing? You won.
I did? Okay, I was
Yeah,
going to
you did one. Yeah.
You guys
yeah,
are
you did one.
gaslighting me over here.
Wait,
Jeez.
why am I taking the drivers? Rush to take the drivers and Mike. They're not here. We can change it now, right? Why did I throw myself under the bus? They're not here.
Yeah, we'll change it. Russ.
Yeah, I'd say Russ and Mike, so they're up for 20 apiece. This is getting
Russ
pretty good.
And Mike, 20 apiece. I got it down.
St. Jude's, $40 in the ringer.
And bad jokes are $20. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that last joke's not going to get played, I bet.
It's not gonna make it though.
Maybe not. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, if you
We'll
were
see.
a doctor, perhaps. So.
Well, you guys have anything else?
Man, this is perfect. 2 minutes from cut time. We got everything done.
No. Yeah, I think
That's
we're
what
good
happens
to
when
go.
you're a stud, Kumar.
I know. Yeah, getting stuff done fast.
That's it. So what are your
That's the
teams?
first thing
What are you
Zach
gonna,
said this whole time. What? Sorry.
Sorry.
What are your teams going to be on the way out? I mean, is it going to be Guardians or?
Um,
And that's the show.
I don't have teams.
He likes the
You don't follow sports at all?
UFC, like MMA stuff.
Yeah, I don't think you
Go-
can
go
start like
Cowboys,
giving
then.
them shout outs on the way out.
And go Stipe Miocic.
Good luck, Deshaun Watson.
Oh,
What about like, comment, share? You got 30 seconds left.
What's that?
You gonna make sure you like, comment, and share. You're gonna
Oh,
give
yeah.
it a little boost.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's go over that. So yeah, we have social media: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Am I leaving anything out? Probably not. All Talkin Truckin, no G's, and yeah, like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. And with that, everybody have a good week. And
He's flaming.
go
Browns.
me.
Oh,
Later, guys.
that's disappointing.